Hello and welcome to Nick's Nerd News. This is where you come to listen to breaking news when it comes to the nerd world. That means we have breaking video game news, movie news, and TV news. If you want to hear about the latest games, the latest movies, and everything else, stick around. Because here's your host, Nick, from a tiny studio in San Diego.
What's up? What's up? What is up, people of the internet? How are you doing on this beautiful October day? It's been fun. I burned myself today on my finger, so that's on my mind as I record this. No, it's we're getting down to the wire, folks. We are going to be knee-deep in video game release dates over the next 2 months. As I think you all are fully aware that October, November, and December are usually video game release central. I don't know why. I mean, I get it, because you want to be out for the holidays, and that's more than likely why everything comes out at this time of year, realistically. But then again, we've been getting a heavy front load as well in the early part of the year as well. But again, a lot of things are going to be coming out over the next few weeks. So that's going to be big news. But the real big news, obviously, we're still dealing with fallout from the announcement last week of the massive price hike on Xbox Gamepass. And just everything in regards to that. We are going to talk about the Call of Duty and Battlefield deathmatch, I'm going to call it, and how that's heating up as we get very close to the launch of Battlefield 6. We learned today that Disney is dishing out a major deal for the rights to Impossible Creatures, a potential Harry Potter competitor. Also, Taylor Swift dominated the box office as The Rock's The Smashing Machine does not do well. Takes it to the mat, really. And then we're going to talk about what's going on with Fast and Furious. And I'm really confused at this whole situation now. If it was just a budget issue, I could understand. But apparently there's more things going on behind the scenes that throw the part 2 of Fast X into question and makes me question who the fuck allowed whatever happened in Fast X to happen if you didn't have a sequel ready to go. But before we get into all of that, why don't you head over to nicksnerdnews.com. That is the one-stop shop for all things Nick's Nerd News. You can listen to the show right in your browser, or you can take us on the go, because I got links, all the links to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. Right? Also, check out the social media tab. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on Threads. We got a Facebook. And guess what? YouTube's also a social media site. What? Anyway, let's not waste any more time and get straight to the news, shall we? All right. Starbreeze, the company behind Payday, has announced that they are canceling their Dungeons and Dragons game that they were working on to go all in on Payday. They're even closing a studio and laying off developers. We've learned that Starbreeze has canceled its upcoming co-op Dungeons and Dragon game, Project Baxter, and laid off most of the development team. This game was announced 2 years ago as an Unreal Engine 5 D&D game that they said would, quote, carry the signature Starbreeze cornerstones of cooperative multiplayer, lifetime commitment through a game as a service model, community engagement, and a larger-than-life experience, unquote. The game was supposed to come out next year with crossplay, but everything has essentially been social media silent since September of last year. However, Starbreeze, which is a company based in Sweden, has decided to cancel it, and it cost the company about $27.2 million in a write-down of development costs, as we've learned. CEO Adolf Christensen said, quote, difficult but necessary decision, unquote, releasing a full statement saying, quote, our strategy is clear. Payday is one of the most iconic IPs in gaming with unmatched reach and potential. By focusing our investment and talent here, we can accelerate delivery, engage players with more content, and reinforce Starbreeze's position as the clear leader in the heisting genre. This is about sharpening our focus to create the strongest long-term value for our players, our people, and our shareholders. Unquote. There you go. Shareholders. It's made... Starbreeze has more than 50 million players worldwide and has generated close to about 4 billion Swedish kroner, or $427 million in lifetime gross revenue. They're focusing on that. And they have a new heist game in the works. But again, okay, fine. D&D games don't always do the best. I think Baldur's Gate 3 is like the most successful Dungeons and Dragons video game, to be honest. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I would venture to guess that. Let's talk about fallout from the Game Pass price increase. As you guys know, last week, financially, it still makes sense for me due to my situation. I'm not a big popular streamer or podcaster that gets stuff for free, so I can't go out and buy every video game that comes out, which I would love to, would totally love to, but can't. I know I had some friends at work. Some people are keeping it, some people are not, and I totally understand. IGN polled 10,000 of its readers, and 45% of them said they are not interested in subscribing to Game Pass at all anymore, and then just under 30% saying they will stay subbed to Ultimate. That's a huge problem. So, yeah, it's... people don't even want to subscribe to Game Pass at all. And I think the lower tiers are a little more justifiable for people if they still want to get Game Pass, if they aren't already locked in at Ultimate. I don't think the increases are worth it for a lot of people. Financially, this makes more sense for me overall. Granted, I could get rid of it and not play any games, but I don't I don't think we're going to turn this into a movie-only podcast, right? No, realistically, I'm able to get more games. It really does allow me to get more games. A lot of people, though, obviously have been online and are not happy. It is a large price. Again, it's people are wondering what the hell Xbox is doing. People are canceling it. It allegedly crashed the site. I haven't seen any official confirmation of that. I know it was overloaded. But look, some people say, like, look, they played well over a certain price amount of games, and it's still worth it to them, right? So it's people are like, I'm still saving money at the end of the day. GameStop made a comment about it. It's just, I'm really confused at the whole situation and why they made that huge jump right away. And it's increased in price so many times in a short amount of time. Ryan McCaffrey of IGN, who is one of my favorite games journalists, was like, Xbox is going to be remembered for one thing this generation, and it's greed. And he's not wrong. But that's Microsoft in general the last few years. I had really high hopes for Satya Nadella taking over at Microsoft after Ballmer, and it was good in the beginning, but honestly, it's turned into a fucking nightmare, if you ask me. And his push for AI and all these layoffs, like, can someone get an investment group and buy Xbox from Microsoft? Like, is that a possibility? Do the Saudis have any more money? Like, can Steve Ballmer and Bill Gates put together a group to buy them back? Please, maybe. I don't know. The other problem, though, with all of this is Xbox also removed, very quietly, I might add, until people called them out on it, the 10% discount on DLC, Call of Duty points, and other things. Call of Duty, or having Game Pass Ultimate or Game Pass in general, used to grant you a 10% discount to purchase DLC for any game that you could get through Game Pass Ultimate. That is now gone, as they are trying to push their rewards points. And look, I'm really over all these companies creating reward points and subscriptions and apps for everything. It's becoming untenable. Like, not everything needs a reward system. I just, they didn't even mention it in the price announcement. But you'll get more cash back in Ultimate. And lately I've noticed I've been getting more points, but that doesn't always equal. You can earn up to $100 per year, which is 100,000 points. That's not a fucking lot, dude. That is not a lot. But I guess you can still get up to 30% value on select Game Pass games with 4 times the points on purchases of games and add-ons. Yeah, dude, no. Microsoft, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Phil, I urge you, Phil, to please, what is going on at Xbox? Do you have any say, or, like, on this? Microsoft has confirmed they're ditching it, but again, it all comes back to you're just getting more points now when you buy stuff. I don't think that's a justification for getting rid of a discount. Points do jack fucking shit, in my opinion. That's just bullshit. And again, still worth it for me. I wasn't buying a lot of games or DLC in general, but losing that discount kind of sucks. And then now we've learned Microsoft is pausing the price increase except for in the United States and the United Kingdom. Like, what? Why does everyone else get it and people here and in the UK are getting fucked the most? I don't know if you guys have looked around lately, but shit's not really getting better here, like financially for a lot of people. So, Microsoft, you can eat a fucking dick in this instance. Like, really, dudes? You're gonna, okay, we'll stop in some places, but where people are also getting fucked, we're not gonna hold off. Even though we're the biggest install base and the biggest fucking users of it and supporters are in the United States. But no, you guys get screwed. Like, seriously, dudes? You're going to halt it everywhere but the US and the UK? Where's that logic, huh? That doesn't make any fucking sense. The new pricing went into effect on October 1st for new subscribers, kicks in next month for all current. It is delaying it, though, in places like Ireland and South Korea. Okay, I still don't understand why not here. And that's for now. There's no official timeline on when it will actually kick in those places. Zero fucking sense. 0 cents. None of it makes... There's no logic behind it other than let's make more fucking money. Or they're really losing and Game Pass isn't doing as well as they're claiming it to be, and they're still trying to justify its existence. Could be either one. I'm not entirely sure. If you've ever played Mortal Kombat, I'm sure you've heard TOASTY. Well, the man behind TOASTY, audio director Dan Forden, who has worked at Midway and NetherRealm Studios since 1989, is leaving the company. Posted on Instagram last week. He said, was it last week or was it? It was recently. He said, posted, Wednesday was my last day at NetherRealm. We made a lot of fun stuff over the years. I'm really proud of what we accomplished, as well as how much fun we had making that stuff. There are so many smart, talented people there. Look for more great things to emerge over the next several years. I love the little touches that people left around the studio, like this little toasty homage on the bathroom mirror. I wouldn't have lasted 37 years in the industry if fans weren't out there playing the games we made. Thanks to all of you for supporting what we've done. Live long and toasty, unquote. Someone asked in the comments why he was leaving, and he followed up with saying, quote, I figured I'd been around long enough, want to reclaim that time for my own interests, unquote. So it looks like the dude is just ready to move on to his next great adventure in his life. And honestly, 40 years making Mortal Kombat games is a pretty solid way to live most of your life. Toasty! I think all of you are very familiar with that, even if you haven't played Mortal Kombat. Paramount's Halo show, which you guys are fully aware how I feel about that show, as I've talked about it more times than I can count, is doing great on Netflix. After it moved to Netflix, I really hope this doesn't mean they greenlight a third season within that world. If it does anything, get me a new fucking show. Yeah. It is now in one of the most viewed series on Netflix, 4th most popular show in the U.S. charts. So, yeah. Let's not give that show any more life or support than it really needs. It needs to end so we can get a real Halo show. The Call of Duty Black Ops 7 beta was this past weekend. It ends tomorrow. It was extended another 24 hours, actually. Players got to play on several maps and play several modes. Why hardcore mode was left out on Saturday is beyond me. I had some fun with it. Some of the guns are just downright awful. Like, they're garbage. You were able to do a lot, though, in the game. In regards to weapon attachments, unlocks, things like that. You could progress to level 20 and unlock some things that I think will be available in the final game. Some of the maps were fun. Again, it's Call of Duty. Not much has changed. The wall running, I have some issues with. Maybe they'll fix it. I hope they fix some of the weapons they added. Like the shotgun you unlock is terrible. The second SMG is really bad unless you get some weapon attachments on there. Maybe they'll fix that up. The new score streaks and things like that I thought were pretty decent. Activision, though, did say that it caught 97% of cheaters as soon as they logged in. Activision knew knew there would be cheaters, and that's essentially what the beta was for, to try and catch them. Activision said, quote, "Cheaters will try to test the limits during the beta. That's exactly what we want, because Team Ricochet is here, watching, learning, and removing them as they appear. Any account permanently banned for cheating during the beta will be banned across all Call of Duty titles, from Modern Warfare to future releases," unquote. It has a new aimbot detection, things like that. But some cheaters still got through, which falls in line with the 97%. So I'm sure it's only 3% of cheaters got through. But yeah, Activision said 90% of them were caught within 30 minutes of logging in. Quote, "Cheaters were expected, but our upgraded systems caught them faster than ever, powered by strengthened TPM 2.0 checks and automated systems helping to eliminate a large number of attempts to cheat. Those who did manage to slip through didn't last long. Most never made it into a match. You may have seen clips," unquote. Then Activision said, quote, "You may have seen clips of cheaters in the Black Ops 7 beta. We had already actioned on most of those accounts before they hit social media. We're watching closely, acting in real time, and learning from every attempt," unquote. So there you go. We'll see how that all works when the game launches next month. I'm liking it so far. Some of the stuff is kind of stupid. I need to figure out how some of it works more, and I think that unfortunately won't happen until the game launches, which, again, totally normal. But we'll see in just a couple of weeks. Back to Xbox here. We're going to have some Xbox-focused stories again this week. Microsoft is looking to potentially launch a free version of Xbox Cloud Gaming, but with ads. There you go. See, there's a free version now. You don't have to have Xbox Gamepass Ultimate or anything like that. The Verge's Tom Warren has found it that an Xbox Cloud Gaming supported by ads is apparently being alphaed internally at Microsoft and Xbox. I don't know how that would work. A public test is allegedly coming later this year, if not early next year. But you would have to watch 2 minutes of ads before you can play free on streaming. And then you would also have limited sessions of 1 hour of play and 5 free hours a month. But again, this could all change if and when it releases and gets tested. Would you guys be open to that? I don't know. That's interesting for sure. But we'll continue here with Xbox. Given the last few days, I can understand why this rumor started to spread like wildfire. Microsoft and Xbox are not canceling the next console. Several major outlets reported it, but probably one of the best in the game in terms of Xbox rumors, Windows Central fired back and be like, no. An insider claimed Microsoft's Xbox hardware plans had become less sure, and the future was going to be shifting fully into third-party publishing, which a lot of people have thought given their purchase of Activision Blizzard and, of course, Bethesda. Microsoft issued a statement to Windows Central saying, quote, "We are actively investing in our future first-party consoles and devices designed, engineered, and built by Xbox. For more details, the community can revisit our agreement announcement with AMD," unquote. Which, again, makes sense. And I guess this follows up. Bloomberg is reporting that Call of Duty on Game Pass cost Microsoft $300 million in lost sales. So that could be why the prices increased. Because people who wouldn't maybe buy it on PC or Xbox are buying it through Game Pass instead. But it said that they are still working on a console, which who knows what those sales numbers are going to be like, given how Xbox has continually caused its own issues over the last several years. But we are learning, though, that they might have actually canceled their own handmade handheld after AMD wanted them to sell like 10 million units or something along those lines. Now, that's an excessive amount, but again, it's really ridiculous that this is even a thing. Why are we having these conversations? Realistically, we're having them because Xbox is so secretive. They're so secretive. They're so weird about their numbers, their sales figures, and all this stuff, and it makes everyone be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I had this conversation with someone at work, and it's just like it's really fucking stupid that we're having all these issues 12 years after the bungled Xbox One launch, that all these people bitched and moaned about what the features they were going to put in, yet here we are in 2025, and all of those things are standard fucking practice across the damn industry, and no one is actually fighting any of it. They fought it for 2 weeks in May of 2013 when the Xbox One got announced. And here we are a decade later, and people bitched about it. But when Nintendo ditched physical media, they complained, yet they bought the Switch 2 in droves. When they raised prices to $80, they complained, but still bought these games in droves. You know, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XS need to be constantly online. Nobody's bitching anymore. Right? We're going deeper and deeper and deeper into a physical media-less landscape. No one's complaining that much. Where the fuck were you in 2013? Or you just wanted to poke and laugh at Xbox because it's Xbox? Don't get me wrong, Microsoft's made a lot of shitty fucking decisions over the last few years. And yeah, no games and all that other bullshit. But at the end of the day, Sony and Nintendo have both made even worse decisions that are way less consumer-friendly than Xbox has over the last few years. But we're sitting at a point where people just drone on and buy PlayStations and Nintendo in massive waves, and Xbox always just gets pointed and laughed at. Where are all the PlayStation 5 games? Where are they? Where are they? The PlayStation 5 is nominally better than the Xbox Series. Nominally. It's the numbers are scarce. Right? The interfaces, and don't even get me started on the horrendous battery life on a DualSense. I don't fucking get any of it. I don't understand this hate that was unfounded back then. It has continued on for a decade, and people still go in asking these stupid fucking questions when you buy a console. And now it's enough for, and again, Microsoft plays into it by not doing a damn thing about it and not advertising their stuff in any way, shape, or form. Or maybe Aaron Greenberg sends out a tweet like, dude, what? That's not how you should be advertising your game. If you want people to play your game, have more than your marketing executive tweet about it. There should be commercials. It should be all over fucking gaming and nerd shit and nerd sites and blasted on the homepage of your interface, and ads on any tech-related or media-related thing. I shouldn't be hearing about the release date of Double Fine's next game from a fucking tweet from a marketing executive. What are you doing over there? And is it coming from the top? I don't get it. Right? And then we already know sales numbers are hidden, despite the fact that they're a publicly traded company. That I don't understand. But now we've learned that they actually might have canceled their actual handheld because of AMD's demands. And AMD wanted them to sell, hold hold on, I'm trying to find the actual number. So we already know that the ROG Ally, because they partnered with Asus on it. Microsoft was in talks with AMD about creating a custom thing for their own handheld console, but they wanted to create their product on their own. AMD wanted a commitment for 10 million chips so they could justify R&D. That's an outrageous amount of numbers for a handheld. There's apparently Valve has only sold about 5 million Steam Decks. Asus and Lenovo combined have sold about 2 million total units, and we're still not even at 10 million. So I can understand Microsoft telling AMD to go fuck themselves on the handheld side. 10 million? AMD, you really thought 10 million people were going to buy a handheld? What are you, insane? That is such a niche market. Microsoft probably would have paid you enough money to wave away your R&D aspects. 10 million fucking units, AMD? What are you, high? Especially in this tariff market? Jesus Christ, dude. Get a grip, AMD. Oh, wait, you did. You signed an outrageous deal with OpenAI or whatever and with NVIDIA, your competitor. I'm not going into that. Kingmakers. I'm gonna get heated. I'm moving on. Kingmakers, that epic game where you could like go back in time and fight against like medieval dudes with guns and trucks and stuff, has been delayed indefinitely. As they want to polish the game as much as possible. So, Redemption Road has delayed it, like I said. They said, quote, it was supposed to come out tomorrow. It was supposed to come out, today. Sorry, today. They said, quote, why is Kingmakers being delayed? In short, it's an incredibly ambitious, uncompromising game. We don't want to cut any planned features for the sake of getting it out the door earlier. Our goal from the start has been to create something that's nothing like anything else on the market in terms of gameplay, scale, scope, and interactivity. With Kingmakers, we set out to push the Unreal Engine 4 codebase to its absolute limits while still providing true 60 FPS to mid-range PCs without the need for fake frames. We're an 80% engineering team who got into this business to push technological barriers. Unquote. There you go. That's a legitimate reason for delay, and it sucks, but hopefully we won't have to wait long for Kingmakers. Someone has reached a feat in Minecraft that many people didn't think would ever be possible, but almost 15 years later, YouTuber Kurt J. Mack has reached the far lands in Minecraft. Almost 15 years. It started in March 2011, back when Minecraft creator Marcus Pearson suggested that it would be quote-unquote impossible to get to the far lands. But while Kurt J. Mack might not actually be the first person to have reached outer edges of the map, his is the most famous. He finished it on October 4th, has a Guinness World Record for longest journey in Minecraft without using cheats or exploits, and has raised over $500,000 for charity. While they don't exist in the game anymore because they were patched out years ago, but they were rediscovered after a terrain generation bug created a wall-like structure, signaling the edge of the world. He reached it on his YouTube channel at 3 hours, 43 minutes, 27 seconds on his video Flobathon, Day 69, The Far Lands. But, yeah. I guess he hit a laggy wall. And it was in the ocean biome. But, yeah. There you go. The far lands thought to never be reachable have been reached. In Minecraft. Yep. So, what are we doing? Back to Call of Duty. People complain about Call of Duty skins all the time, which, again, makes sense. Well, now there's a new skin that's coming tomorrow, and people want it to carry over into Black Ops 7. And what skin is this, you might ask? The Predator. The Predator, Chucky, and Jason Voorhees are all coming to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and Warzone. However, you can still play as the Predator in Warzone when Black Ops 7 comes out. You won't be able to play as the Predator in multiplayer when Black Ops 7 comes out. And it begs the question, pick a damn side. You can't be like, oh, I don't want all these stupid skins in Call of Duty, but then at the same time complain when one of these ridiculous skins doesn't carry over. I want to play as the Predator as much as the next dude, but like, what? I don't. People make no sense, and they never have. Like, realistically, we can't have nice things. And I'll get into that more in a second. Elon is predicting that Grok or whatever, XAI, his AI company, will. He tweeted, quote, the XAI game studio will release a great AI-generated game before the end of next year. After someone tweeted, video games will be dynamically generated by Grok in the future, unquote. No. I'm going to say no to all of these things. Elon always overpromises and underdelivers. When has anything he's ever promised ever released on time or in a time frame that is reasonable? Let's just go with that. And B, AI sucks at making things like that still. Yeah, they can do stuff that you tell it to, but I don't think it will be able to make a great a game, a full game before the end of next year. They have an open position for video game tutor that between $45 an hour and $100 an hour, you can train Grok to produce, quote, engaging, fun, innovative video games enabling users to explore AI-assisted game design and fostering advancements in interactive entertainment through accurate annotations and iterative testing, unquote. I don't think so. He also thinks that it will make a at least watchable movie before the end of the next year. No, I'm sorry, but no, I do not think so. Watchable is a big fucking stretch, and game in general is an even bigger stretch. What I'm saying is, don't hold your breath. Nintendo is suing a Redditor mod who allegedly sold Switch ROMs and is demanding $4.5 million in a settlement from said Reddit mod. Claiming that the figure, quote, nowhere near the amount that would compensate Nintendo of America for the seriousness of the defendant's conduct, unquote. They are claiming that this conduct is, quote, DMCA anti-trafficking violations, unquote, of James Archbox Williams, a moderator on the Switch Pirates subreddit, is accused of copying and distributing pirated Nintendo Switch games. They will track them down. In new court papers that Polygon found, Nintendo filed a 30-page complaint accusing Williams of, quote, directly involved in creating, operating, promoting, supporting, or maintaining several other pirate shops, as well as circumvention software to facilitate widespread use of pirate shops, unquote. They said Nintendo claims they reached out to Williams in 2024 with a cease and desist, and then claims that, quote, the defendant acknowledged his conduct violated NOA's rights and stated he would work with Nintendo of America to satisfy demands. However, Williams did not, however, agree to cease his conduct. unquote. They also said, so yeah, we'll see. They continue on about the lawsuit. We'll see if Nintendo's able to win. Obviously, they're taking advantage of the much more corporate-friendly climate in the country currently. Bungie is not giving up on Marathon just yet. We've learned that Bungie will be having another playtest as a limited invite-only playtest in North America and Europe for PlayStation 5, Xbox, and Steam users. And they will have to sign an NDA, and it will run from October 22nd through the 28th. Bungie said, quote, "This is an important checkpoint for us as we test our improvements since Alpha, including 3 maps, 5 runner shells, prox chat, and retuned combat pacing, solo queue, deeper environmental storytelling, and more. That said, the technical test build is a work in progress and will only include a portion of what's planned for Marathon's full release, focused on the early player experience," unquote. You can sign up now on a special sign-up page up until October 16th. Steam players can also apply via Steam from October 13th through the 26th. Prior participation does not guarantee you a spot. So, looks like Marathon is not as dead as we might have thought. In the ever-increasing battle between Call of Duty and Battlefield, we have a new team deathmatch for them to fight. So Battlefield 6 launches this week. Call of Duty has announced a new free-to-play trial, which will give you full access to the Black Ops 6 campaign. Yes, the entire campaign. You'll get multiplayer, excluding ranked play, and zombies, and it begins 9 a.m. Pacific tomorrow, the day before Battlefield 6 launches on the 10th, and ends at 10 a.m. Pacific on October 16th. So about a full week to play if you don't beat the campaign in that time. You'll also get access to the new Haunting update. Like I said, that comes with, the Predator and Chucky and things like that. This is clearly a shot across Battlefield's bow. And they are definitely trying to say, hey, look at me, I'm still here. We also learned today, and EA is assuring fans that their servers will be ready for the release date. We learned today that Ubisoft had been working on an Assassin's Creed game set during the American Civil War and would have been focused on an assassin who happened to be black, was formerly a slave. You would be fighting the KKK, and it was canceled over concerns over the current U.S. political climate and the backlash Ubisoft received in response to Yasuke, the black samurai in Assassin's Creed Shadows. And all I'm going to say is we can't have nice things ever. This game would have been so fucking cool, and it was canceled because people are acting a fool on the internet. We just can't have nice things. In our final gaming story, video game hardware sales are up this year, according to Circana, the industry analyst. In an August report, that hardware spending is up 32% year over year, mostly due to the Nintendo Switch sales, which offset double-digit declines on the PS5, Series XS, and the Switch 1. Nintendo Switch 2 sales are trending 77% ahead of the Switch 1 sales over the same period. Matt Piscatella, who heads Circana, put on Blue Sky, quote, "With 2.4 million units sold life to date over its first 3 months market, Nintendo Switch 2 is now 5% ahead of the previous record-setting pace of PlayStation 4, which sold 2.2 million units during the 3 months ending January 2014, unquote. Circana also said that hardware spending year-to-date has grown 20% year over year. Unit sales are up 6.5%, but that's more than likely because hardware prices are up 12.3% to $453 per unit. Piscatella said, quote, yes, hardware is doing well so far this year, but it's higher selling prices that are really driving the total spending growth, unquote. We also got a list for sales for games. Best selling games were NBA 2K26 was number 1, Madden NFL 26 was 2, Mafia: The Old Country, top 3, look at that. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, number 4, EA Sports College Football 26, 5, Gears of War Reloaded, Gears of War Reloaded in the top 10, wow. Donkey Kong Bonanza, number 7, EA Sports MVP Bundle, EA Sports Kickoff Bundle, and then Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the Hinokami Chronicles 2. Round out the top 10. Minecraft, Call of Duty, Black Ops. Yeah, if anyone tells you Black Ops 6 didn't sell well, it's in the top 20 a year later. Grand Theft Auto 5 still in the top 20. Helldivers 2, Horizon 5, Grounded 2, 2K25, Hogwarts Legacy, Story of Seasons, and Red Dead 2 round out the top 20. That is it for gaming news. Let's head on up the 5 freeway and see what's going on in Hollywood, shall we? Given that both DC and Marvel are headquartered in LA, it makes sense, this next story. So we already know about the Batman-Deadpool crossover, which has officially started in the comics. The next crossover from Marvel and DC will be Superman and Spider-Man, which will time with the 50th anniversary of the first time they teamed up in the comics, or met in the comics. The 50th anniversary of that, which is wild to say that twice in a row like that, is crazy to even think about that time frame. This will follow up the Deadpool Batman next year. We don't know exactly when. It is expected in March of 2026 with Superman Spider-Man number 1 and then Marvel's Spider-Man Superman number 1 in April. We don't know the creative teams or anything like that, but we have a few months to speculate, of course, until official announcements are made. Peaky Blinders is getting a spin-off, and 2 seasons of it, at least. A sequel series has been greenlit and ordered for 2 seasons from Netflix and the BBC. It will be set in Great Britain in 1953. No casting decisions have been made or anything like that. It's expected to be split into 6 hour-long episodes per season. But Cillian Murphy has signed on as executive producer. Per the BBC, the synopsis says, quote, Britain, 1953, after being heavily bombed in World War II, Birmingham is building a better future out of concrete and steel. In a new era of Stephen Knight's Peaky Blinders, the race to own Birmingham's massive reconstruction project becomes a brutal contest of mythical dimensions. This is a city of unprecedented opportunity and danger, with the Shelby family right at its blood-soaked heart, unquote. There you go. I was going to talk about more, but this episode's getting long. Everybody Loves Raymond is getting a 30th anniversary special. Is just a special. This, as we reported before, Ray Romano has said they're not doing a reboot or continuation series for many obvious reasons. This special is expected to air in November on CBS and Paramount Plus. Despite it being a 30th anniversary special, we're actually only in the 29th year. It's going to be a 90-minute reunion show hosted by Ray Romano and Phil Rosenthal. Stars of the show: Brad Garrett, Patricia Heaton, Monica Horan, Sullivan Sweeten, and Madeline Sweeten will appear on the program. The show ended 20 years ago in May 2005. Other cast and crew members and special guests will also attend and share memories. They'll show unseen footage and outtakes. There will be a heartfelt tribute to Peter Boyle and Doris Roberts, who played Ray and Robert's parents in the show. Boyle died in 2006. Doris Roberts died in 2016. And then they will also have a tribute to, I can't think of his name, unfortunately, right now, but the twin of Sullivan Sweeten, who tragically passed away several years ago as well. But November 24th on CBS. It's being done by the same company that did the Friends reunion special a few years back. Daredevil Born Again was supposed to feature Echo, and Echo was going to team up with the Punisher, but unfortunately those plans fell through, which that was before the show had its massive rework and retooling and everything like that, where they refilmed a lot. I wonder, though, if they'll feature Echo in Season 2 or in that Punisher special. Writer of the show, Jesse Wiguto, said that maybe it will come back, but we don't know as of right now if that's in the cards. Oh, God. Tron Ares is coming out, and reviews are not great right now. The same guy that wrote Daredevil Born Again wrote Tron Ares. Anyway, I'll still see it. I love Tron. Anyway, moving on. Keanu Reeves is back in the news, as usual. I mean, he's got a new movie with Aziz coming out later this month. But while he was promoting that movie, Good Fortune, Fandango asked him about Constantine 2. And he said he has a new script and is planning to take it to DC Studios, saying, quote, hopefully they like it too. Yeah, fingers crossed. You know, another draft of the script came in. We're waiting. We're going to take it to the studio. Hopefully they like it too, unquote. So there you go. But I hope they make a Constantine 2, and I hope James Gunn is all in. Now let's talk about Fast and Furious 10 Part 2, or whatever you want to call it. I am a little confused right now, and I'm a little concerned about where this franchise is going, because now some people are saying this is good for Hollywood because they're pushing back. My biggest issue is, why did they say this movie was happening? Why did they say the whole cast was returning when in reality nothing is set in stone now? And you let a movie in your biggest franchise end on the dumbest fucking cliffhanger I've ever witnessed in a movie. Wall Street Journal has reported the next installment has not been officially announced. It doesn't have a release date on the books or a final script. And most of the cast has not signed deals to return to the franchise. What? Who let that last movie get made then? Because that person needs to be fired immediately. And the current script making the rounds requires a budget of $250 million. And Universal has told them it will not greenlit it unless they cut $50 million out of it. And it's because Fast X, that came out in 2023, the last movie, was the lowest grossing film for the franchise in over a decade. It took in $705 million with a $340 million budget. Knowing Hollywood math, that technically barely broke even. What is supposed to be Fast X Part 2 was supposed to come out this year. And remember, Vin Diesel was walking around this year teasing that it's coming out in April 2027, which he loves to just spout from the hip. but nothing is official. Nothing is actually official. And is The Rock coming back? I don't know. I really don't understand. I don't understand how they let a movie where what it seems like the entire cast dying off screen in a stupid fucking way was a good idea and not have the next movie lined up or filming at the same time or continuously. What are you doing, Universal? You had a great franchise, and then the last two movies, you jumped the shark a little bit in Fast 9 and everything. And then Fast 10 came out, and it was almost all green screen and was stupid as fuck in a lot of places. Not to mention that weird scene with Alan Ritchson in like a completely blue screen room with these fake TV screens he's watching things on. Like, what's going on with that? Plus, you have that atrocious ride at Universal Studios Orlando. That thing is bad. I hope the new one in LA, that new roller coaster they're building, is good. Which apparently they had the same thing as Orlando, but it was part of the backlot tour, which that's been removed. That was the worst thing I've ever experienced at a theme park, and I've had some bad experiences at theme parks. Universal, do not squander your biggest franchise. Yeah, I know Wicked's getting big and things like that, but like Fast and the Furious is legitimately a massive moneymaker for you. And I get you want to cut the budget. At least it's a smaller budget than 10. But you need to wrap this thing up in the right way and maybe take the reins from Vin Diesel and be like, you can be in it, but you need to sit the fuck down. Because I think he is the reason a lot of this nonsense happens. But I just want more Jason Momoa as the most ridiculous villain ever. Please. There were good parts of Fast 10. There were. But you can't end the franchise like that and then make us sit and wait for years when you let your stars go out and say Fast 10 is going to be split in two and coming this amount of time. You can't let them go out and say that and not give any pushback until 2 years later. Like that's not how you run a franchise like that. That's wild to me. It's wild. Completely wild. I don't understand how that all happened. And now we're sitting here like, what? Everyone is legitimately confused right now. I don't know. Speaking of box offices, The Rock's new dramatic film, which is getting very good reviews, did not do well at the box office. It took a dive, to speak in boxing terms, where it was dominated by Taylor Swift, the official release party of a Showgirl, which made $46 million at the box office globally this weekend. Oh my God. Of all things to make number one. But A24 is a little worried about the money here because the Smashing Machine, hold on, I'm trying to find the exact numbers, did not bring in that much money. It only made $6 million at the domestic box office. It spent $50 million to produce the movie and a whole lot more to market it. And it only brought in $6 million at the box office, which The Rock isn't the star power I guess we all thought he was. Meanwhile, One Battle After Another hit the $100 million mark after 2 weeks at the box office, which is Paul Thomas Anderson's highest grossing film now, which is wild. His biggest hit before this was There Will Be Blood, which made $76 million. However, it's being reported that One Battle After Another needs around $300 million to even break even, which I don't know if that's even going to happen. And then The Way of Water's reissue in theaters brought in $10 million. The Way of Water re-release made more money than The Smashing Machine. Which, damn, dude. I thought people were going to go see that movie. The Rock commented on it. Remember, The Rock used to be a massive box office draw. The Rock said, quote, "From deep in my grateful bones, thank you to everyone who has watched The Smashing Machine. In our storytelling world, you can't control box office results. But what I realize you can control is your performance and your commitment to completely disappear and go elsewhere. And I'll always run to that opportunity. It was my honor to transform in this role for my director, Benny Safdie. Thank you, brother, for believing in me. Truth is, the film has changed my life with deep gratitude, respect, and radical empathy. Dwayne Johnson," unquote. And this movie's getting really good reviews. People are liking it. It just didn't make money. We'll see if it can recoup in the next few weeks. In a major blow to the franchise, Predator Badlands is going to be rated PG-13, which I'm kind of shocked by, personally. Predator movies that aren't R don't always do well. But director Dan Trachtenberg is hoping it still feels like an R-rated movie. It's still going to be violent. I'm really confused as to it not being rated R, because every Predator... Oh, it will be the first Predator movie since Predator... Alien vs. Predator to be PG-13. Producer Ben Rosenblatt said that they're going to try and keep the violence high but be PG-13 still, because it focuses on synthetics instead of humans, saying that not a single human character is hurt during the movie. Exact quote, "We'll see where it ends up, but our hope for it is that it can be PG-13 that feels like an R." That's kind of our hope, and really what that's about is just being able to broaden out the audience for a movie like this. We don't have any humans in the movie, and so we don't have any human red blood. So we're hoping that's going to play to our advantage. We're going to go as hard as we possibly can with those constraints, and we think we'll be able to do some pretty awesomely gruesome stuff, but in colors other than red, unquote. Because Elle Fanning's character is a synth. If you know anything about the Alien and Predator franchises, there are synths, and she is a Weyland-Yutani. Yes, that Weyland-Yutani branded synth. A sequel to the movie Heat is getting closer to reality as Amazon's MGM's United Artists is in talks to acquire the rights to the film from Warner Brothers. But as Warner Brothers has disagreed on the budget, Hollywood Reporter is breaking the news that Amazon MGM wants to release the movie in theaters. It is based on a book from 2022 that Michael Mann, director of the original film and writer of the original book, wrote as a prequel of sorts to the original film. He also adapted the screenplay. He co-wrote the book with Meg Gardner. Producers on it will include Michael Mann, Jerry Bruckheimer, United Artists, who is this? Scott Stuber, and Nick Nesbitt. Eric Roth and Shane Salerno will also serve as executive producers. Heat, which has a 30th anniversary later this year in December, of course, made close to $200 million, not adjusted for inflation, with a $60 million budget. We'll see, though, if the sequel can get made. Rumors were circling that it might include Adam Driver, but we'll see if the movie hits theaters and actually gets made. Elijah Wood is praising the script for The Hunt for Gollum, saying he's read it and thinks that it's going to be good. Speaking at Desert Con, which the direct was able to attend and get the news, said that Wood said this, quote, "I know a great deal about it. I've read it. It's really good. There are some wonderful people involved. The thing that is so exciting is that I really that it is really getting the creative band back together. The brain trust behind The Lord of the Rings, Fran, Peter, Philippa, they are heavily involved. And then the same production designers. It's going to be shot in New Zealand, so it's going to carry with it such continuity with so many people who are part of The Lord of the Rings, and I'm really excited about that. It feels like getting that old machine up and running again with all of the right people, unquote. Weird that he said all this, considering he hasn't said if he's returning as Frodo or not, but more than likely is that he probably will be in it, considering he's read the script. People don't just get to read the script if they're not in the movie, especially on a big franchise movie like that. That is expected to start filming soon, and we know Ian McKellen is returning as Gandalf. Disney has shelled out a massive sum of money, a potential 7-figure deal for Impossible Creatures, which is a best-selling British fantasy series that focuses on fantastical beasts. People are calling it the next Harry Potter. It is written by Catherine Rundle, where only 2 novels in the series have been released so far, and they've both earned multi-million-pound book deals ahead of publication. They both earned that. At least 3 more novels are planned, and via Deadline, Disney secured the rights in a bidding war with Netflix and Warner Brothers. Hey, Warner Brothers, calm down. You already got a fancy British fantasy kid. Impossible Creatures follows the adventures of a young boy who discovers a magical world after traveling in the Scottish Highlands. The character named Christopher finds the world of Gilmoria Archipelago and a girl named Mal, where they bond together over a shared desire to look after the archipelago's creatures who are struggling to survive as the world's magic seeps away. So, there you go. It's very different from Harry Potter. Oh, Bob, you didn't read this. Bob Iger said, quote, "When I read Impossible Creatures, I knew it belonged here at Disney. I was immediately drawn into the vibrant world Catherine imagined and the possibilities of what we could do together with this story. Written by Catherine herself, these movies are in the best of hands with our Walt Disney Studios team, and I can't wait to see this tale brought to the screen," unquote. All right. Okay, unless you read it to your grandkids. I don't know. Catherine Rundle said, quote, "I'm absolutely thrilled to be linking arms with Disney. It's a privilege to be writing these screenplays and developing these first movies in the franchise together with Charles Collier, my team at Impossible Films, and with the exceptional team at Disney. I'm especially grateful to Bob Iger, whose enthusiasm after reading the book helped set this collaboration in motion," unquote. There you go. And our final bit of movie news, which actually just dropped very recently, George Clooney is confirming that Ocean's 14 is happening and will begin shooting within the next year. I'm excited. I love all the Ocean's movies. I liked Ocean's 8. Wasn't terrible. I don't know what's going on with that Ocean's prequel that was announced. But Clooney, speaking with E! News, said, "We just got the budget approved at Warner Brothers, and we're trying to set up. It's just scheduling, so it's just setting a start date for us. Probably start in about 9 or 10 months shooting," unquote. There we go. Sign me up. It will be directed by David Leitch. Ooh, okay. He also said, quote, "Yeah, Brad, Matt, and Don, and Julia. I had dinner last night with Julia. They're all still really dear friends, and so the chance to work together would be fun," unquote. Yes. Everything is right. Now, if we can get everyone else that's still alive, that's the next plan. I'm excited. So let's see what happens. This will probably be the last one, but we'll I hopefully they get everybody. I don't know what's going on with the prequel movie, which is supposed to star Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. But I don't know if that movie's even happening anymore. But yeah, Ocean's 14. Honestly, Brad Pitt and George Clooney are great together. I don't know if you guys watched Wolves, the movie on Apple TV Plus. They're just solid together, and I'm excited to have another Ocean's movie. But that is it for Nick's Nerd News this week. And if there's probably something I forget, because I always forget something one week after the other. But maybe 2 movie reviews next week. I'm going to go try and see Tron in IMAX this weekend. And then I am definitely going to go see, I want to go see Roofman as well. So I'm going to try and have both of those for you guys next week. Tron Ares more than anything, though. That is it for the episode this week, like I said. And I will catch you guys on the flip side.
This has been a production of Nick's Nerd News. Please do not use without implicit faxed permission. And yes, that means